Hey guys, I'm Talia from Talia's Garden. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to do a tour of all my houseplants and any other plants I keep in the house. First, I'll show you them individually, tell you what they are, how to take care of them, and then I'll show you where I place them in my house for decoration. Disregard all of this. We're in the process of redoing this room, so it's pretty messy. First, I'm going to show you my Boston Ferns. I have two, and I bought them and they were kind of dying at Walmart, and I fertilized them, put them in the sun, and they're doing awesome. This one's the oldest. This one I bought a few weeks ago. It needs to be fertilized. This does not mean it's dying, it just needs some water. And in the winter, they lose a lot of their leaves. So they like to be watered thoroughly. They like to be moist. It's said that they like the shade, but once in a while I'll put them outside for the day and they'll go crazy and look beautiful again. You want to make sure that they're like hanging or in a spot where their leaves aren't touching the walls, because that makes them look skinnier. So why I brought these ones home for me, pretty sure they're Queen's ferns, and they have a skinnier length apart. So like these ones get big. See how wide they are? These ones are really skinny and they won't get super big. They'll just get really long. They're really pretty. So this guy is not doing hot. Oh, that's why. He has a lot of water in there. Okay, don't drown your plants like I do. He's not doing great, but he'll probably come back to life. He is a maiden's hair fern. It's an exotic fern. He looked really pretty when I got him, but I don't have time to take care of them, so. Next, I'm gonna show you my spider plants. These I hang outside in the summer. Same with your ferns, you can. And then put them inside when it starts to get cold. They're pretty hardy. This guy's got all these babies. Then you can replant these once they get big. This one I think is the biggest one I have, but honestly, it's multiple plants. I did it a long time ago, but you put multiple plants, it'll make it look big and beautiful. And there is spider plants that don't have the white, so this one's a variegated leaf. This one's my favorite. It was hanging under a tree and it did so awesome this summer. Look at how many hangers it has. So it really wants to produce, and I think it's because I let it dry out a good amount. It just had the best conditions, I guess. And then show you its baby. So those I can plant, or I can just let them hang and they'll live there. Look at their flowers. They're beautiful little white flowers before they produce their babies. So this will produce all year round. Water it a good amount, but let it dry out. I fertilize everything once in a while, not all the time. This guy, he's also really pretty. Look at all his babies. That's what he looks like. All right, so this is what it looks like when they're too dry. They get almost white, but it's really hard to kill a spider plant, so just give it some water. So these two are, of course, they're just babies, but they're from Wyatt's grandmother, Nana. They're doing pretty awesome. This one has multiple plants in it. This one's just one, I believe. So you might be asking, how do I do babies? Once I get the babies, what do I do? So you just pick them off the plant. Hold on. I'll do this guy. So dead leaves. What you do is you just pick him off and you put him in water, and those are the roots. They'll get really long in the glass. I like to do it in the glass so you can see the awesome roots. There we go. And it looks really pretty. And then once they get long, you can just put them in soil And that's that. It's really easy. You can just keep them in water for a really long time. Okay, next I'm gonna do this plant that my mom got me. I thought it was a corn plant. Now I think it's a snake plant. I don't know. This guy. He does not produce any new leaves, so it kind of makes me mad. He needs to be dusted off. I think it's a snake plant, which means that it loves sun and it loves humidity. So I keep it in the bathroom, and I'll show you that later. I also put these wood chips on top to keep the soil moist. So when I water it, it won't all evaporate. It's really good for your soil, any soil. Okay, Christmas cactus. I love them. They produce awesome pink flowers. Mine produce at least twice a year. A lot of people say they only produce during Christmas time, but not accurate. These are from my grandmother, as were one of the big spider plant was from my grandmother, my great-grandmother. When she got sick, I took a bunch of her plants. I think I've already talked about that maybe. I don't know, but this is one of hers. And they really like to be dry. So I water them, obviously, but maybe like whenever I get around to it. So like every other week. This guy, maybe I have repotted him, but I think it's the same pot. I don't know. They tend to get root bound if you leave them for a really long time. So just be careful with that. But they grow pretty crazy. This is all new growth right here. Anything that's really light green is new. All these are new. So when you do fertilize anything, you should fertilize a lot in the summer and then don't fertilize them in the winter because that's how plants work. They're getting ready for the cold winter. So they kind of go into like hibernation and they need less water and pretty much no fertilization. Fertilization is to help it grow. So let it grow when it's really hot and it's getting a lot of sun. And then it will be bigger and then let it flower in the winter. So real quick, I bet you're wondering how you can get more cactuses, Christmas cactuses, off of your big plant. Well, this one is shriveled up because it's been off its plant, but you stick this in water and it will grow roots. Or you can just stick it in another plant in the soil and it will grow roots. It's pretty awesome. Next, I'm gonna do my aloe plants. I only currently have two. This big guy, he's old and I don't know. I probably need to put him in a new container. So this container holds a lot of moisture in it, although I don't really water him too much. They don't like to be watered much, but this one seems to be thriving. And he was he was in a plastic pot, but they like the terracotta. The terracotta dries them out and they like to be dry for a little while. This guy's getting extra dry, that's why he's curling. So I need to water him. But they like to be dry. So water them whenever they start to look terrible, like this guy. But overall, they're really healthy. And this is a baby. I don't know if you can see it. It's the only baby I got. And it died. I tried to plant it in dry soil upstairs where I wasn't paying attention to him. And then I was like, oh, I'm just going to throw him in this other pot to see if he lives. And he came back to life. Literally, he was dead for probably a month and came back to life, so. But how do you get babies? Honestly, I'm not too sure. They grow off of these sides, but I don't know what makes them want to have babies. You can fertilize them, just don't fertilize them a lot. Okay, this guy is a treasure flower. He's really pretty. He did kind of die and he's coming, oh my gosh. I didn't notice that till now. He has a little flower. Can you see it? So he was in a terracotta when I got him. I got him from Wyatt's Nana. And I was really struggling with him. He kept dying. And I was like, what the heck? So I looked him up, and he likes really moist soil. So if you have a terracotta and you water every day, it doesn't matter because terracotta soaks up all of the water. So he needed to be in a plastic, and now he's doing awesome. You can fertilize him, and apparently he's healthy now because he's producing a flower. His flower is orange, and it's really pretty, and you should get one of these because they're really awesome. He has some dead leaves. I need to fertilize and clean these off. Any guesses? It's a golden pothos, and lately I have been in love. I watch Plant Arena on YouTube, and it's this woman that owns like a gardening center, and she ships all over the world, and she loves houseplants. But golden pothos, it grows like crazy. This is a clipping I took from my Aunt Linda and Linda Bashan. And it just has grown like crazy. This is all new leaves right here. That's a new baby. And I love them. And they get really long, and they're good in bathrooms. They like a lot of water and a lot of sunshine. So this plant has a lot of sentimental value for me. It was my great-grandmother's, my Grandma Thalia. And I went to her house, and it was all over her chimney, and I thought it was fake. It wasn't. And my grandmother's really sick and can't see very well, and it was flowering. So I told her about it, and she said that she got it from my great-great-aunt. And she said that it had never flowered before, and she had had it for like 5 years. But my grandmother has bad memory, so who knows how long she had it, but it was huge. And I have it in the other room, and I'll show you. But I took clippings, this guy, and these two are new leaves. I actually didn't even think that it would grow itself, but it did. And then I called my mammy, and I was like, hey, do you want a clipping from Grammy's vine? And she was like, I have one actually. So it worked for her too. She just put it in another plant and it started growing. So these are little babies. That's a weird leaf. So this is a variegated Hoya carnosa. Yes. They produce these awesome little flowers that are pink or white, and they have like a honey, and you can actually eat it, and it tastes awesome. And I read a lot of things online about adults remembering that in their childhood their grandmother had one, and they used to eat the honey, so that was cool. But yeah, so I'll show you the one in the kitchen. Doesn't it look fake? So Hoya carnosa, they love sun. I didn't really have a good spot. This is probably too shady, but it's doing fine. I fertilized it, and I think it's the first time it's ever been fertilized. So this is new growth, this thing right here, that guy. Those are two different ones, this guy. And we keep pulling them down because we don't want them to get stuck, but they honestly, they won't get stuck. They just kind of hold on. But there's a ton of new growth on this guy because I fertilized him. So in the summer, fertilize him and give him water every other week probably, like a good cup full. And in the winter, they like to dry out, and that's when they produce. So this guy's a zebra succulent. This is a baby off of my big plant. This is my big guy. And I thought this was a weed, right? So I was gonna pull it out because there is little other weeds in there. This is how they produce their babies. They're kind of dried up now, but this is like what a spider plant does. So that's pretty cool. And it has little flowers, white flowers. So this is a common house leek, and it was so pretty this summer. I took a picture of it. Its leaves all go up and they turn like purple, and it makes it look like a flower. Look at the foliage on this guy. It almost looks blue, white, and light green, but it's like a dark green. But it's so beautiful. And it was $5, and it was a little bit smaller at Home Depot, and I had to buy it. It's when I bought the other fern. And this guy is a Warnicki. I don't know how to pronounce that. So it's medium light and water when the soil feels dry, which is what every plant is gonna say. So, but he likes to be moist and a lot of sun because he's got these big leaves. So I have one more house plant, and then I'll show you the plants that are not house plants that I have in my house. So this guy I got freshman year in college, so about 3.5 years ago. And he's really beautiful, but he wasn't really growing. I need to repot him, but I haven't found the pot that I want. And the potting mix has to be like a mossy potting mix. This is a bonsai tree, and its leaves are very thin. I water it probably once a week or every other week, really whenever I get around to it. But how I got it to start growing, all this new growth, this is new growth, that one's new. You'll see the baby. I fertilized it, and I didn't really know that you could fertilize these. If you have a plant that you don't know if you can fertilize, try it. It's really not gonna kill them. Just don't put a lot of fertilizer. Make sure that your ratio water to fertilizer is good. I use that powder I think I showed you in a different video. Okay, so I have some plants in my house that are outside plants, but I paid a lot of money for them. They're annuals, and I don't want them to die. So they're gonna live in my house. This guy, honestly, I don't know what he is. He makes those pink and orange flowers. I showed you in a different video. He's from outside, but he'll do fine inside. It's an annual. This guy, I had 3 of these in my garden. I dug them up, I put them outside. They started to dry up, so I brought this one inside. It was the only one that really lived. I have some other ones. The other 2 are still out there, but they're kind of dying. So it's a Super Bell double amber. And I just put it in a hanger in the window, and it's doing awesome. Ivy, I think is what it's called. It's for outside, and it's a ground cover, and it's annual. But I put this, so there was a 6-pack, yeah. And I got it for really cheap. Because it's out of season. And so I put 2 in each little pot, and I have 3 pots. And I decorate with them, and I'll show you how. This guy is really heavy. He is my rose that Wyatt bought me at the grocery store. He was outside in the garden. I showed you all of his beautiful flowers, but I figured that I would want to bring him inside so I can keep him for a long time, because I don't know what the plan with the garden out there is. He will probably live outside, but he isn't an outdoor rose, I don't think. So to be safe, I brought him in. And he still has flowers. And he's really tall. So these are the mums. I had them outside, but they're so light that they fly away in the wind. So they're coming inside, and they're flowering. Need to be watered. So that is all my houseplants, and I will put them back where they belong, and then I'll show you the difference. Wyatt's making jerky. So I put the ferns in this little basket. There's 2 ferns in there. It looks pretty cute. I haven't finished filling this in. That doesn't get a lot of sunlight, so not sure what I'm gonna put there. So if you can't tell, I have a tiny little spider plant there, my vines. This is my grandmother's vine, the carnosa, and that is the golden pothos, and then that's a zebra. Stay tuned to see what we do with our dining room. There is going to be some more plants. I'm very excited about it, but I'm not gonna give it away. So stay tuned, I'll make a video on it. So sorry about my messy house. If you have any questions about any of the houseplants I have or anything I don't have, I could probably figure it out. Message me, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.